we are going to talk about nail tips with blending. This is a very important subject because when you go to state board, Superior, you remember yesterday, she was here yesterday. How many sections do you have to take at state board? 7 different sections, okay? Does anybody, Superior was here yesterday, so she heard this again. Does anybody know what the sections are at the state board that they have to take?
Manicure. I know the sculpted, the blending, tips. Oh,
Soak off, okay? Those are the main ones, right? And then you also have to do a blood exposure procedure, right? And then there is 2 other sections. So there's 7 sections. There's 2 other sections which are literally just setting up your table, setting it up. And when did y'all learn how to set up your table? Day 1, right? How to set up the table properly, right? Cleaning your table off. Don't we wear gloves when we clean our table off, right? You got to make sure. So those 2 sections. So they grade this based on what you don't do. Okay? They're looking for things that you did not do. Okay? They're also going to look at things that you do. I said do that you're not supposed to do. Okay? For instance, those 2 sections. That first one, setup of, it's called work area prep and setup of supplies. That's the first section. Okay? And if any of y'all are curious about what you have to do, all of this stuff is on the PSI website for you to download. It's a whole lot of papers here. Okay? So it's on here what each section that you have to do. The first one, work area prep, setup of supplies. That's just setting up your table, getting it ready for a client. Aren't you going to be doing that in real life? You may not know it, but every single thing that you do at the state board is stuff that you're going to actually do in real life. You may do it your own way. Hopefully you do it the right way and tweak some things. But they want to know that you're going to be clean. They do not care if you glue on that nail tip crooked. They don't care if you lay the thickest, ugliest sculpted nail in the world. But if you sneeze in your hand and you don't sanitize it after you do that, you are going to fail that section. Okay? All they care about is sanitation. And we should be caring about sanitation because these nasty ass nail techs out here in this here nail community are making a bad name for us all. Okay? They don't have clean tables, they don't have clean implements. They're out here giving clients, infections and things of that nature. So, don't be that one because, people talk about you when you do bad stuff or wrong stuff. Be the clean nail tech. So, the work area prep and setup of supplies, that's the first section. You're going to basically just set up your table, clean it off, throw all the trash where it's supposed to go, put everything up in line, set it up for a manicure. If you fail that section, you can't fail that section. I had a student who failed both of those sections, failed the test, did everything else perfect. Okay? So, and it was because she forgot to put her gloves on. I set your kits up so that you do not have to worry about not having everything you need. If it's on the table, use it, right? Every bag, every section that you open up and put on your table is going to have everything you need in it, okay? So, can't fail those sections. Then you're going to do a manicure. They're going to tell you to set up for the manicure first. The second section is doing the manicure. You're simply just going to do the manicure just how I taught you. Don't change it up. Don't try to be fancy. Don't come in there with no, extra large container of alcohol and stuff. Thank you, my darling. See, this is how you do it, y'all. See, this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna get on my nerves, sometimes Deidre gets on my nerves. If you're gonna get on my nerves, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. She don't get on my nerves. She actually don't. Then you bring me coffee. Or if you're gonna order coffee, order me one. Okay? Anyway, just kidding. So, you do the manicure. Just do the manicure. These people, let me just tell you, they don't know how to do a manicure. They don't. They really don't. They're test givers. They are trained to watch you and see if you're going to do something you ain't supposed to do. So when you go to state board, you are not going to be so lucky as to have all of your classmates in that testing room with you. You're going to have people from other schools. You're going to have people who were apprenticed by people who don't know what the hell they're doing. You're going to see people coming in there with Tupperware boxes and garbage bags and all kinds of stuff. This is the day that I want you to have tunnel vision. I want you to keep your eye on the prize. Don't you look at nobody else. Don't you look at them and say, "Ooh, Miss Mary taught me wrong. They doing something totally different." The way their teacher taught them is the way their teacher taught them. At the end of the day, there's really no wrong way to do it. But if you dig in your nose and then you touch that client without sanitizing your hands, that's wrong. Wrong. Okay? So that's all they're really looking for. If you drop your implement on the floor, you better leave it. Don't you pick it up. Would you pick it up in real life? Some of y'all would pick it right on up and start pushing it, putting the cuticle pusher and drop it on the floor and push it. Don't do that. That's nasty, right? So you can't pick up stuff off the floor. All of these things matter, right? So the next section that you're going to do is a work area prep and setup of for a new client, okay? So you did your manicure. It's like in real life. You did your manicure, your client's done, you send them off, you go pay, just book them again. Now you got to say you got another client coming. What you going to do? You're going to do the same. So basically you're repeating the first thing you did twice. You get an opportunity twice to get it right. So you do it, another setup, but you got to listen to them because they're going to say, all right, now third section, work area prep, setup of supplies for a new client. This time, you are going to set up for, your client's getting some weird stuff today. She's getting one nail done with a blended tip. Excuse me, y'all. A blended tip. She's going to get one nail sculpted and nothing else done to the rest of the other 8 nails. And then you're going to soak off that sculpted nail because you messed it up and she's mad. She's going to go, basically. I don't know. So you're going to set up for those 3 things. Sculpted nail, nail tip with blending, a soak off, all in one on the table. I give you everything you need, have everything in little baggies. All you got to do is take it out the bag and put it on the table. And your client is obviously your mannequin hand, right? So after you do those 3 things, then you are going to do a blood exposure procedure. Now, we're going to go over the blood exposure procedure. I'm not going to confuse y'all with all of that today. But what do you do when you cut yourself? It's very simple. You don't really have to think about this. If you just do if you cut yourself, what's the first thing? If you're in the kitchen and you're chopping up onions and you cut yourself, what are you going to first do? Stop what you're damn doing, first of all. I'm going to stop cutting the onions. And then I'm going to grab something to stop the bleeding, right? I'm going to hold it there for a few minutes till it kind of stops a little bit. Now, I know I need to finish cutting them onions because I got to feed this man, right? Or whatever. Okay? Then what am I going to do to my finger? Well, I hope because it's bleeding, so you're going to wrench it off or something, right? And maybe clean it with some alcohol or whatever you're going to use, and then you're going to bandage it up, okay? Now, if you're cooking for yourself and your family, I guess they don't mind if you get a little blurred in the onions. But if you're, working in a restaurant, they're going to make you put a glove over that hand. And then you continue on cutting them onions, don't you? Simple, right? That's what you do at state board. And then when you're done with all that, then they read this little statement. They say, okay, thank you so much for coming to the National Summer Cosmetology State Board. Pack up your stuff and go. Bye. They say it's a little longer than that. Yeah, run out of there. Run out of there and wait for them to hand you that paper that says you passed. Because y'all going to pass. Right?
You know the same day? How long does it take?
You know the same day.
For both parts?
For both parts. You'll know before you get your butt out of that chair that you passed that theory because it's going to say passed, failed, right on the screen. Because it's... Huh? I'll go anywhere with y'all if y'all invite me, but y'all heifers won't even put me in the group chat. So I don't want to go nowhere with you. I ain't even in the group chat.
You want to be in the group chat?
No, I don't want to be in your little group chat.
When we get to blow your phone.
I don't want to be in y'all group chat.
Yeah, we tried it.
You ain't invite me. No, don't be trying to invite me later, after the fact. It's all right.
These plans new.
So that's basically what your state board is. So with that being said, there will be state board practice before everybody, you know what I'm saying, before y'all get out of here. If you haven't had a state board practice, Shayla is going to, once we have a certain amount of students graduating, she usually has like a group one and does it with y'all, but that's something that she schedules. So this, what we're learning today, is directly a part of what your state board is going to be. Okay, so I want y'all to pay attention. If you have already heard this, well, hear it again. You know, sorry. You're going to want to hear this again. Okay, so nail tips is what we're talking about today. Next week, we will move on to sculpting. All right. How many of y'all have worked on those sculpting skills? Especially my seniors.
It's rough.
It's rough.
I like it. It's not too bad.
I'm about to say, the ones who actually practice it, they enjoy it. They like doing the sculpted
I like
nails.
the cleanness of it. It's just hard with the mannequin.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Listen, y'all work on mannequins in class. When you practice on yourself is when you are going to get the true practice. Okay? Not necessarily even on another person. When you have the time and you can sit there and you can look at what you're doing, you feel what you're doing, especially with like e-file practice and stuff like that. Some of y'all e-file on folks and you ain't never even e-filed on yourself. How do you know if it hurts the client if you've never, the pressure you're using is not hurting the client? Huh? When they snatch their hand back, see, you don't want them snatching their hand back. If I snatch my hand back one too many times, I'm snatching my ass right out your chair. I'm going somewhere else. Okay? So with that being said, practice on yourselves, y'all. They have these peel off bases now. They have y'all come up with all kinds of funky ways to peel stuff off. Hell, you can put a piece of tape on your finger just like you do these mannequin hands. It works. Okay? Huh?
I said it sure do.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live with mannequins.
You get a new everything for state board.
My mannequin done been through, man.
I mean, it ain't free.
It done been through it, though.
Because you can actually, let me tell y'all, did y'all know this? I'm not required to teach y'all how to pass the state board. The state board will tell you, well, if you go and complain to them, I didn't pass because she didn't go over the state. They be like, ma'am, she don't have to teach you state board. You learned everything in school, what you're supposed to be doing at the state board. At the end of the day, when they read this thing out for you, they're telling you what to do. They just want to see if you nasty or not. They literally tell you exactly what to do on the state board. So I don't have to teach you how to listen. Some of y'all gonna fail your state board because you didn't listen. You know why? Because they say do a sculpted nail on the blank finger. It's literally a blank on the script because they can choose whichever finger they want, and you're gonna be so out of there that you just nervous that you don't hear which finger it is, and you're gonna put it on whatever finger you want to put it on, and then you're gonna fail that section. And then you'll fail the next section because you put the sculpted nail on the finger that you should have put on the nail blending. Now you got two. You got to listen. They're going to say index finger, middle finger, ring finger. You've got to listen. When in doubt, if you don't know which finger, maybe look at your neighbor and look around and see which finger they're doing it on, because that's the only advice I can give you. Don't put it on the wrong finger, right? So you got to pay attention. You got to listen. I know it's, I try to make this as fun and I'm loud and I try to make sure y'all hear me good. But I can't force you to listen. You know that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, right? Can't make them drink. So with that being said, I'm going to give this information to you the best way I know how. You only hear one day a week. Get it while you can. Okay. All right, so what we're going to talk about, nail tips with blending, and we're going to have a conversation about why you should learn this particular subject. Okay, we're going to also talk about different types of nail enhancements and nail extensions. What's the difference between them? Okay. We are going to talk about prep. All right. Prep is so important, and some of y'all have issues with prep. If your nails are popping off an all-in-one piece like a press-on, then you're probably gonna have you're having issues with your prep. Spend time on your prep. It's so important, and we're gonna talk about these different steps with prep as well. Okay. We're going to talk about the different types of tips that are out there. Y'all got so many different tips out there. You're so lucky.
I can't find the full well tips nowhere.
Yeah, I ain't been able to find none.
Because nobody uses them. But
Well,
guess
you
what?
get some, I'll buy
It's
some.
the only type of tip you can use at State Board.
Oh, wow.
You cannot use any other tip. So, yeah, I can sell you some because I buy them. Obviously, them the ones I buy for y'all for the State Board practice. Okay. All right. So that y'all can practice with them at home. All right. So, why is learning about tips so important, y'all?
That's one of the main things we use.
I mean, most, unless you are a sculptor like I prefer to be. I like to sculpt, right? That's my favorite thing. Let me tell you why I like sculpting. First of all, you ain't got to have umpteen boxes of tips. All you need is a roll of sculpting forms, and you can customize any shape, any nail, any type of finger. With see Gio, when she first came here, she was not sculpting. Okay. But now, and y'all can look at her hands because she's a true nail tech. She ain't got but one hand done. That's all she, that's how we roll. But look how beautiful those are.
That's sculpting.
Yeah.
Oh, she don't do
Oh,
nothing
sculpt.
but sculpt anymore.
Yeah, I don't do tips anymore.
So all you don't have to have all these different shapes and lengths, and you can create whatever you want with a sculpting form. The hardest part about sculpting is learning how to put the form on. Because explain to me what's the difference of a form being on top of the nail, glued on top, because that's all this is a form glued on top of the nail versus a piece of paper underneath the nail. It's not much of a difference, but you just have so much more versatility. So if you're not like Gio and you are one of these people who prefers to use tips is actually what most people ask for. Or at the end of the day, most of these clients don't know the difference.
I said that's all they know.
They don't even know that they have options. Okay? So, and because when you start sculpting on people, those people become clients that seek out nail techs that sculpt. They prefer it. It's a different feeling. If you've never had your nails sculpted, you don't know what I'm talking about, but it feels different on your hands. It's lighter. It feels like it's a part of you, because it kind of is. It's attached to your nail bed underneath. Excuse me, your tip underneath. Okay, so you are going to get asked to do tips more often than any other service. Most clients, that's all they know. So, what is so important about prep? Why do we need to prep? And what are the steps of prep? Yesterday we went through these steps, and I forgot the very first most important one. Thank you.
Wash your hands with no soap.
Washing the client's hands. They need to wash their hands with soap. Okay? And a lot of times the clients, I've had them go over there, wash their hands, and the first thing they do when they sit down is pull out some Bath and Body Works lotion, and they're like, my hand's ashy. Girl, that's the whole point. I need the oils removed from your hands. You just walked in here with some McDonald's and eating fries the whole time you was waiting. Yes, ma'am. I love it when you raise your hand and act civilized. I do.
I was gonna sit by you if you want me to.
Um,
Nah, that's like for real.
why?
'Cause
You need some of my energy?
I don't know. Okay.
You look like you need some energy.
Yeah, I'm a little tired today. Okay, so question.
Look at her. Look at her, y'all.
Stop, Miss Mary. What kind of soap?
Preferably not like, your good Bath and Body Works champagne toast soap.
No, I'm saying not like that. I'm saying like, how they have Dow, then they have.
I would prefer like an antibacterial soap if you're going to put your hands in mine.
Okay.
I don't know where your hands been. I don't know where they ain't been. But,
I will say soft soap is better.
she brought her
Because
ass up.
Dial leaves a
I'm trying to focus.
Y'all look at her.
Oh, stop.
She just want to be beside me.
My hair already messed up.
It is a little messed up. But I can't talk because I had to throw it up in this little ponytail because it's dirty. All right, so we're going to prepare the nail. What's the first? So since I finally found some new markers, because y'all know Shayla was having some problems with her markers, right? They're all dried out. All right, what's the first step we said?
Wash your hands.
Wash not only the client's hands,
Your hands.
but yours too, because unless you a nasty nail tech, you're not washing your hands in between clients. Ew, right? I would want you to. How many times have you been to the nail salon and they A, asked you to wash your hands and B, wash their hands?
I ain't never did that.
Red flag. Red flag. Okay? Now, the second thing that we're going to do after the client washes their hands, they come and sit down. And you go, okay, yeah, girl, how was your weekend? Oh, Bobby ain't even listen to her. What you want on your nails? I'm going to go do some tips today. What's the first thing you're going to do after you wash the hands?
After the consultation.
Well, you're going to consultate. You're going to consultate. You're going to do a consultation with your client, find out what they want, right? What shape, what length, all that good
Make
stuff.
sure got fungus and
Make
stuff.
sure, yep, to check, especially if they don't have any nails on, right? It's a fresh set. Check. But when we're talking about prep, you need to do, because I know y'all hate me for all the manicures you have to do, but how many manicures do you do a day realistically when you do nails? On every single client. It is whether it's a wet manicure or a dry manicure, you do a manicure, right? So what we do, we look at that client's hands and we're going to either do, more than likely you're going to do a dry manicure, right? You're not going to pull out the water in the bowl and all that stuff. So we're going to push back those cuticles. We need to push back the cuticles. Please don't do what another nail tech that I ran into at the show. I said this yesterday. It was a red flag. She had teardrop tattoos on her eyes. I shouldn't have listened to her. You know exactly what I'm talking about. She did a class on, they talk about me, but they won't say it to my face. I say it with my chest. I'm going to tell the truth. I can't lie, y'all. I'm sorry. It's not in me. So, so she was giving a class at the show, the Premier Orlando show. They just let anybody in there. On how to increase your speed. And her tip was, don't push the cuticles back. We don't have time for that. Just use the E-file and just drill them off. I was like, my hands were screaming. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine someone just drilling off your cuticles off the skin? I mean, you ultimately it is dead, right? However, it is attached to living tissue, so you kind of don't want to just drill it off, but second step would be to push back the cuticles, right? Now, all of these things are things you should be doing including in your prep. Now, how long it takes you to do it, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But try to spend a little bit of time on your prep is very important. After you push back the cuticles, what's the next thing we're going to do?
Clip files.
No, you're absolutely correct. So, when you get ready to do a set on clients, she too close to me. When you get ready to do clients, doing a set, any set, whether you're sculpting or whether you are applying tips, you need to trim these clients' fingernails. I know they want that. They'll come in there and they'll have like one long pinky nail. Don't know what they do with that.
You know they call it.
Don't cut it.
You know they call
What
it.
they call it? Don't say nothing. I'm not for that booger sugar. Clip that little nasty fingernail. First of all, why do we want to clip? So we doing a manicure, right? You remember the steps of the manicure, clip, file, shape. We're going to clip those natural nails down to a reasonable length so that you can apply the tip properly. Now, with sculpting, you want to have a little bit of a free edge because it helps for you to put the form on, but nothing extreme or even a few millimeters long because it will alter the shape of your nail. Now, you can't, if you're trying to glue a tip on somebody who has a long fingernail, everybody's nails are not perfectly shaped like the tip, right? So you may have separation of the glue from the tip, and then you got all kinds of problems going on then. You got dirt under there, you got all kinds of stuff. There booger sugars under there, all of that's under there, all right? So, clip, file, clip the nails, and then file them if you need to, and shape them into a reasonable shape, short shape, just a short natural shape. It's just gonna make it easier for you to apply that tip. Okay. So once we clip, file, and shape those nails, what are we now going to do? We need to buff. Okay, and I'm glad y'all said buff.
Remove the shine.
We need to remove the shine. It's so important to remove the shine, aka etch the nails, right? How much etching are we doing? Barely. Etch the nails or remove the shine. The nails do not need to look like exactly. All we are doing is simply removing the shine. So you can use a buffer. And folks will tell me all the time, well, Miss Mary, I tried your... Didn't we have this conversation?
What with the?
Yeah, because you were saying that you were having a problem with them lifting still, even though you were buffing. And then what did you change up?
I changed the buffer because I had it was like pink, but it's fine. But
You don't want it too
they go by
fine.
colors.
Mm-hmm.
The colors are different. Are different
Grits, right. So, because if you're using a buffer that is supposed to make them shiny, then you know what I'm saying? Because there are buffers out there that make it shiny, right? Yes, dear.
So I bought I'm buying new buffers and files and stuff, and there's two different ones, and I'm curious because it's 250.
250 is how fine is 250, y'all?
I use it to shape natural nails.
And that's what you use it for.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
you
not
could.
for-
I would. Well, you probably. What does it look like? Does it look like this, or does it have a soft, spongy middle?
I'm gonna show it to you.
Because usually, if it has a spongy middle in it, that's something you can squeeze like this. It's gonna be a buffer, even if it is
No, it's like a file. It's
Okay,
like
so I would use that more on the tips of the nails.
Okay.
You can use files on a natural nail, but obviously it's harder and it's going to take away more layers of nail, right? With a buffer, you got a little bit of sponginess there, so it's not like really forcing you to remove nail plate. Okay, so after we etch the nail, what is on the nail when you dust, right? And what is that dust?
The nail.
And what else? Hopefully not dirt. You don't wash their hands. You wash their hands.
If it's dust,
It's dust from the nail plate, right? Because you are etching the nail plate. But what is on the nail plate still a little bit? Because you push back the cuticle, but there's still a little bit of dead skin from the cuticle because you may have pushed it back, but you still left a little bit of cuticle on there. So maybe you go with your buffer to remove the shine, but now that you buff that skin off too. So that dust is not just nail plate, it's also skin. And does acrylic stick to skin? No. So what do we need to do? What is the next thing we need to do after we get all that dust? So you got the little brush, right? Right? That helps, but it ain't gonna. What do you do when you gotta mop the floor after you sweep it, don't you?
yeah.
Get a little solution.
You don't mop the floor, do you? So we sweep the floor, right? But then what do we do to the floor after we sweep it? If we really want it clean, mop it, right? So then we're gonna, after we dust off the nail, and please y'all, stop using them big fluffy brushes.
Acetone ain't it?
Alcohol, acetone, cleanser, whatever you want to use. Y'all stop using them big fluffy brushes. What are those big fluffy brushes for?
To get dust off your table.
Dust off the table, not your client's hands. Because can you sanitize those big fluffy brushes? No. You can wash them in soap and water, but can you disinfect them? So they I guarantee you they hold a lot of bacteria in them. I don't know how makeup artists get away with what they do at like the MAC counter and stuff. Be using the same brushes on people and just cleaning them with cleanser and stuff. I don't know how. You ever thought about that? How many people's lips that I worked at the MAC counter for years.
They be just like this.
And I'm just telling you, I don't know how because you can't disinfect those brushes. You can't. Okay. So these can be disinfected. Why? Because they're plastic, right? So dust it off. So we're gonna dust it and then also cleanse it. Dust and cleanse. Okay. Shit. Dust.
You got new markers?
I was holding it with the wrong angle. So a lot of y'all are not doing that step. And I'm not saying cleanse it like have them go wash their hands, because now you're going to have like soap residue on their hands. Did I? What I?
Hurry up for teacher. Please.
Yeah, I'm too close to it. I can't.
They already talking about you.
I said please. That's what I meant. Cleanse.
Miss Mary Case. I swear I said the same.
They said that? I'm screaming. Oh.
I'm just playing.
Such a liar.
I'm just playing.
I'm going to put your ass out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So now we cleansed, right? So now the plate, here's something you need. So teach your clients what to do and what not to do. Because the first thing, after you done wiped them down and did all that, then they want to be like,
Oh my God.
I wish it was illegal not to hit your client after touching stuff.
right? That's the first thing they want to do. You like, and now you looking at them like, bitch, I just did all that work.
I'm about to start getting waivers that say I'm gonna pop you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, and it's like, Look, maybe you put that in your whole, before you sit down, I want to do you need to pee, you need to, and then come in here, let me see you wash your hands, because I want to make sure you wash your hands. Okay? So, because that's the thing too, especially when you're sculpting, you can't be stopping in the middle of,
No, oh my God, I hate it.
I always advise y'all to do one hand at a time when it comes to the forms, because they're going to have one hand texting and doing
I learned
everything.
that
Just
the
don't
hard
even
way.
fight with them. Don't even fight with them. Just do it that way.
I learned that the hard way.
So, someone said, can I come sit in your class? You already have a license? Sure, you can come sit. You're sitting in it now. All right. So, dust and cleanse, right? So now their hands are clean. The prep is done. There should be no nail plate no nail plate. No cuticle on the nail plate. Now, did anybody hear me say anything about cutting anything?
Nothing but the nail, the clipping.
Right. I'm talking about the skin, like, all them Russian manicures and all that stuff. Y'all, I'm telling you, leave that stuff alone. Stop watching these people on this here internet. The only reason they're doing all that is because they want to have pretty pictures. They don't show you what those nails look like 2 days later and the client's got a little scar right there and is bleeding or something out. They don't show you that. Yes, dear.
I have a question.
Yes, I have an
I've been
answer.
struggling with that in my head. It's like been battling with me. So like on TikTok, there's this lady and she claims like she don't cut no cuticles, blah blah blah. But some people have such thick cuticles, I guess, and she pushes them all the way back, and it's like lifted. And then she goes around with a little curve and cuts it off.
So she claims she don't cut cuticles, but she cuts cuticles?
Right. So I'm like, well, what do you do with that when you push all that back?
The reason why her clients have that is because she cuts their cuticles. If she stopped doing that and start treating, and it's not, let's go back a little bit. First of all, that ain't cuticle what she's cutting.
It's living.
What is she cutting? The PNF. That is living tissue. When you cut living tissue has to heal. When it heals, it creates a scab. When the scab heals, it creates a scar. And scars are usually what? Harder, more, thicker, darker. If God forbid, if you're a woman of color, you're going to have black cuticles.
Yeah, that's.
Or the area. Yeah. Because you cutting it all the time. So she is the reason why her clients' nails look like that.
And I mean, and then she
It's her
showed
fault.
it, and it was like.
Don't tell me her name because I'll call her ass out.
Was like lifted up. I don't even know her name, but she was like, no, we do not cut cuticles.
Well, she absolutely does.
I was like,
Well, here's the thing. See, the reason you're confused is because she's using the wrong terminology. She's not cutting cuticles. She's absolutely right. She's cutting live tissue. She don't cut cuticles. Hell, we don't have to cut cuticles, do we?
No.
Why do we not have to cut cuticles?
Because they're.
Because true cuticle can be easily pushed off the nail plate. If it's hanging because it's still attached to the PNF, because sometimes it's still attached to the eponychium. Remember, the eponychium is underneath, dies and turns into cuticle. Sometimes it's still attached. It won't let go, and yeah, you might need to nip it a little bit. But she's not lying. She isn't cutting cuticles. She's cutting live tissue. She probably don't even know that, though. Because if she went to a proper school or to a school that teaches you properly, we'll just say, she would know that. Yes.
What's a Russian manicure?
Oh,
Oh,
I haven't
the
seen
nail
it on
crew
TikTok.
does a lot of those, and I swear I was just paying her my hair the other day. I was
Russian
like,
manicure is illegal in the United States of America because it's Russian. We don't do Russian things here, okay? It's when you cut the skin off. When you see them cutting and trimming that skin all the way around, and then they take a buffer and
Buff the
and the
skin.
thing is, the client is screaming on the inside in pain.
That must hurt.
It's got to hurt. You done already cut me. Now you want to go with a big ball buffer and buff around my skin. Like it's got to be
And then they
painful.
get that brush and then they put it under.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You're all the way back there by the nail matrix. Okay? Remember, once you damage the matrix, it's over with, honey. No more nail for you. Sorry, I got a little
You gonna let us sculpt your nails?
no. So, all right. So we got our dust and cleanse. Now, everything's clean. What are we going to do now?
Does that
Because we're talking tips now.
Does that cleanse part include alcohol?
It can be alcohol. You can use acetone. You can use alcohol. You can use y'all remember my recipe for cleanser?
3 parts alcohol, one part.
Right. So my cleanser recipe is 3 parts. 3 to 1. Alcohol. This is alcohol. Alcohol.
You're right there.
And this is acetone. Okay. Acetone, alcohol. 3 parts. Whatever you're mixing. If you're doing a little bottle, do teaspoons. If you're doing a big, okay, see what I'm saying? All right, so that's your cleanser. Stop buying, no, I ain't gonna say that. I need some sponsors,
I
so
got
I'm gonna
a
stop
question,
saying that
too.
stuff. I need people to start sending me stuff. I gotta stop talking about these people.
Miss Mary.
Yes, where's my eraser? Oh, see? You come over here messing with stuff. And now I can't find stuff. All right. So now we're going to, and you said it.
What she said?
What's the next step after we dust and cleanse? So we need to size the tip. Okay? So we're sizing the tip. How do we know a tip fits?
Sidewall to sidewall.
Sidewall to sidewall. So when I'm gonna pull this out real quick so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. Boom. All right. So when we size a tip, we want the tip. Hold on, let me get in here. Is this going to fit me? Mm-hmm. No, because it is overlapping past where are my sidewalls? Remember where our sidewalls are? That is the skin right here. We're going to come straight out. If it overlaps over that, it's way too big. Mm-hmm. All right? So you'll want to find something smaller. So when we try something a little bit smaller, and this I know this is a clear tip.
Still too big.
It's still too big. Go down a size, okay? Ooh, I'm going down the wrong way. There we go. Let's try this one. What do y'all think?
Still looks too big.
It can work though.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's right. 'Cause you don't want it too tight. You don't want it no tight tip.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I'd rather it be a little too big and then I can customize it, take me a file and maybe, because not everybody's nail is going to fit the same way. Now, if you are, if you're trying to be precise, you might want to take a file and just kind of, take the side in a little bit and just bring it in some. Because that's why I really don't like these types of tips, because not everybody, some people have flat, these only work for people who have nice, natural looking nails. The people who have flat nails, these don't really work that great for. So see, in this case, there we go. So I pushed it in some. That could work. Right? So sidewall to sidewall. You do not want your tips to be too small. What happens when they're too small? So if I go down to one that's, because we always have this happen. We get down, well, I don't, because I'm a preparer. You get down to your last size 5, and you need a size 5. You ain't got no more 5s, and you got a whole nother hand to do. So you go and you grab you a size 6 or 7, and you over here like, Like, Craig, you better make it work. Make it enough.
Miss Nair, I had a client that come to me and she was like, she didn't understand why her nails hurt so bad. And it was because all the tips were
Too small.
like you seeing her side wall on the side. I was like, that's why it hurts.
See, if I see when I put this tip on here, this one's too small. If I can't easily just lay it on the nail without forcing it down, look what you see how my nail is. That's called blanching. When it turns white like that, it's called blanching. So I'm forcing it so down on my nail so that it is pushing the sides, squeezing them in. Y'all know what it's like when them damn pants too tight. You like, I'm gonna put these on because I'm gonna wear this outfit tonight. And then what you got?
Used to fish.
A muffin top.
That is what happened though. If you wear tight clothes all the time.
All the time. I said one night.
Oh.
You gonna be in pain. You gonna be suffering, right? You suffering the whole night because you got on something that's too tight. Same thing happens with your nails. If you wear nails that are or tips that are too tight, you can cause your client to have a nail disorder. Anybody know which one?
Mike.
It's onycholitis.
Absolutely.
I
Thank
got a
you,
question.
Deidre. Thank you. Onycholitis, sis. What is onycholitis, sis?
You lied.
She ain't look it up. She ain't got nothing in front of her.
I'm just watching my dog face the cat.
Listen, okay, I got a question about the nail tips. Like, so you know how people be having cricket,
Cricket.
like
I know what you're talking about.
you get what I'm saying?
Cricket nails.
Okay, so
Cricket
listen.
nails.
Listen, so this what I do now. Don't be trying to cut my Z on TikTok because I don't know what you're talking about. So I do my clients like this. Like I made them turn their hand around like this, and I put it on like this.
That's a
Because-
very good way.
Because I try putting it on like this, and it be crooked, and I.
If your client's fingernail is crooked and you put a nail on crooked, shame on you.
No, I'm saying.
You're doing the right thing.
Oh, that's the right. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you're not wrong.
I just know people be putting theirs on like this.
But if their finger's crooked, you go ahead and put it crooked.
No, you don't.
You
Don't.
would put
It's
it-
your job to
yeah,
fix
you-
that.
You put it to where it's like facing the way it should be.
But then I feel like if it grows out, then it's gonna.
No. It's going to grow out the way it's going to the nail eventually if their nail is growing that way. The longer the nail gets, yes, it will turn. But hopefully you're changing their nail set out like every maybe 4th, 5th set or something like a refill or something like that. Yes.
I have a question. So
Yes.
there was a debate on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
How many times are you supposed to do a refill?
Oh, that's a very good question.
2. All right.
Because that's what I heard too.
All right.
Because you're not supposed to do a whole bunch of filling.
Well, not 2, but really more.
The answer to this question is you never have to take the nails off.
Right. Yeah, you never have to do
You don't ever have to take the nails off. Now, acrylic will get old. So you have these clients who just start with a short set and then they grow, and they never cut them down. Now, that's going to be a problem with acrylic because acrylic absorbs moisture, it absorbs odors, it absorbs everything. So over time, acrylic starts to crumble and get old, and you're forced to like soak it off and then do an overlay, right? But if they're the type of client who gets their nails cut down often, keeps cutting them down, the acrylics never really gets old because you're cutting the old acrylic off and you've got new acrylic every time you get a fill in. Now, does that ever really happen? No, because the client breaks a nail or two and then they want they just want a fresh set, or maybe you want to do a fresh set. It really just depends on the client. But the answer to that is you never have to, contrary to popular belief, nails do not breathe. I hear it all the time, and I just stop saying things to people because they'll be like, when my clients come in, I think I'm just going to let my nails breathe for a while. I'll be like, okay, girl. Nails don't breathe. They don't need to breathe.
I had to tell my aunt
Right.
the other day.
So you don't have to give your nails a break. None of that, okay? But, so the answer is you never have to take it off. Do we? Yes. I personally feel like you should get a fresh set. I just want to do a fresh set because eventually their nails start to curve. Their nails do this weird, this nails growing underneath. It's nasty. I hate seeing that nail underneath the nail acrylic. It's gross to me. My clients don't get to keep their nails when they grow up. I always, they be like, no. I'm like, yeah. That's nasty. All that stuff under there.
You don't need it.
If you want to grow your natural nails, you in the wrong place. Why you got all this acrylic and stuff on it? I want to grow my natural nails out with acrylic on top of it. That makes no sense. And like I said, those nails, they hold all types of germs. And this is why, because I never understood it when I worked in the hospital. Because I was a nail tech working at University ER. We were not allowed to wear nails. And I'd be like, why? I want to wear, but I'm going to do them short. Those nails, you can't even have long natural nails. Nails hold and absorb all types of nastiness. I don't care how much you wash your hands. Mm-hmm. And then when you've got acrylic on top of them, that nail separates from y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all done had nails on, and you're like picking at the natural nail under there, and it's lifting away. What do you think sandwiched in between there? Boogers and all kind of stuff. Y'all know y'all be picking your nose with your long fingernail. I know y'all do that.
I have a question.
Okay. Yes.
Can I show you a picture? Because my aunt has a broken nail. Back to the how to put tips on when your client has a crooked finger. My aunt's finger is broken, and when I do her nails, I try to do it to where they all look straight, but I just want to know if this is right.
What was your question while she's looking for that? I don't want you to forget it.
Okay, wait. So I work with this girl, and she's had a problem with biting her nails her whole life, and she's trying to stop biting her nails, and she wanted something to put on her nails to grow them out, so she would stop biting them. And she said she tried acrylic, but it would just damage her nails and make her want to bite them again, so she's doing press-ons.
Okay.
So I told her she could try hard gel, but that might damage her nails too. I didn't
So,
try something else.
okay. Do products damage nails?
No, the prep,
Who damages nails?
the tech.
You,
Oh, that too.
the nail tech, or the client if they're snatching their products off. So I ain't nothing damaging her nails but either you, her nail tech, or whoever her nail tech is, or her, the client, ripping the product off. Okay?
She said she does rip her.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go. Nothing
said
that
she would.
if you leave your nails alone, they won't ever be damaged. But we bite them, we pick at them, we put products on top of them and rip them off. We want to peel our gel polish off. You can't peel your gel polish off. If you're gonna sit up here, go do something. So, hold on. Oh, okay. Well, let me let y'all see this real quick, what she's talking about, so that way y'all can see what I'm saying. So, yeah, there's no fixing that, baby.
Okay, because I was like,
No, we're talking about like a slight slant.
Okay.
Yeah, that poor thing. She's
that's
like
what I'm
broke.
Because she broke it and she never, for reference, yeah, my aunt's pretty old, but she
But look at her nails, though.
I was like,
Oh, look at her nails. Talking about she old, but look at those nails, though.
but she broke it and never got it fixed, so it healed broken, and she didn't move it straight. But,
Right.
Like she said, when she goes to like the nail salon before I started doing her nails, she would just like force her nails straight, and they would do her nail. But then when she let it go back to looking.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
can't. You can't really do nothing
Okay,
about
I
that
was just
shit.
making
Bless her
sure.
heart, but yeah, you can't do nothing about that.
So the way I did them, is that okay. I know
Yeah,
this is a
yeah.
big case, but
I mean, you can't do nothing about that.
okay.
Now, back to the tips. So we glue them on. We want to make sure they fit. When we glue them on, glue goes where? On the nail tip or on the tip? The tip of the nail, your natural nail, or the tip of the tip?
The nail tip.
The tip of the tip. Thank you. Right? Put it on the tip. Why do I recommend you not going straight in with your glue on the finger and then applying the tip on?
Because when you put it on the tilt and then you lay it down, you avoiding bubbles.
Very good. You don't know if you and this you become a professional at some point where you can just eyeball it. You know how much glue to put. But you don't want too much glue and you don't want not enough glue. Because not enough glue is going to give you air bubbles. When you have air bubbles under your tip, what do you also get under the tip? Moisture, which can cause lifting. You can get moisture, you can get germs, and when you get moisture, what do you grow? A greenie, okay? So let's remember that a greenie is a form of a fungus, yes. But when I talk about funguses, I'm thinking of things that are contagious, right? A greenie is not contagious. A greenie goes where the water is. So, and there was a time when I was a brand new nail tech, every single client came in with a greenie every single time they got. When I was a new nail tech, yes, because and some of y'all probably ain't gonna admit it, but it happens to y'all too.
Yeah, when I first started.
Yeah, every single client, you like, God dang,
Like, what am I doing?
what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And you and if you meet a nail tech said that day it didn't happen to them, they lying, okay? And I'm talking full finger greenie, okay? When you have that, you have got to make sure that you are doing your prep properly because the client is getting water under there somehow, okay? And it's your preparation. It's 100% you, okay? Now, it will get better over time. Trust me. Now, if I see a greenie, I'm like, what you do? How you do that? Because I didn't do it because I just don't happen anymore, all right? But it's not the end of the world. Some people will say, oh, you can't put nothing over that. You got to let it heal. It's nothing to heal.
They debate about that so much.
They debate about it. It's not one of those things that you can't go to the doctor and get a prescription for. It's a mold. Once the moisture is removed and once you get rid of the problem, which is a trapped water underneath the nail, it will die. Now the green color still stays because do you know what that green color is? It's the fungus's poop, basically. It's a stain. It's a stain. It's just a stain, okay? And it will have to grow out. There's nothing you can do about it. But the fungus or the mold is dead once you remove the problem, which is the water. So yeah, you can. If it's a full finger greenie, I usually will tell them, look, let's just put some regular polish on it for, come back in a day or two or whatever. We'll reschedule or whatever to let it kind of air out. But if it's just a little small one, girl, put you some acetone on there, dry that thing out really, really good, prevent that from happening again, and it has to grow out. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to, over time, just disappear. It has to grow. It's going to be there until the nail grows out.
It's on the actual nail plate. Not
It's
on the
underneath.
plate. Oh, okay.
It's underneath. It's absorbed into, because our nail plate absorbs moisture. Remember, it can get bigger and smaller and bigger. So it's stuck underneath the nail plate. Can't get it out. Can't remove it by filing it off. Right. So that is a debate that people have, and the answer is you can't do anything about it till it just grows out.
I think I sent you one of those too. I think I sent you one of those too.
And I will put something right on top of it as long as it's not a huge, you can cover that. You can put acrylic back on top of it. Just remove the problem. You got to take that nail off. If you see a greenie, don't be like, oh, maybe she don't see that. And then just continue on with a fill-in because it's going to get worse under there. You got to remove the nail completely. Start fresh. Okay. So, and don't be embarrassed. It happens, and at the end of the day, you will get better and it will not happen anymore.
And as
Okay.
long as there's no cracks, it's still safe to redo and cover
As long as there's no cracks where?
on the nail.
We never work on nails that have cracks in them, like open.
Yeah, but
Well.
even if it's just a greenie, it's still safe just to redo. Okay.
Long as you have dried that nail out, let it dry out. Put in some acetone, let it soak off and dry. Acetone gonna dry it out. Okay. But again, if it's a full green nail, like fully green, that nail, and because usually if you take it off and it's fully green, it's gonna be flexible and soft, and because it's been wet for 2 weeks or however many weeks you've had that nail on, that nail is gonna probably have a little smell to it. I wouldn't even want to work on it until it dried out completely. Use your judgment, okay? Use your judgment. All right, so once we glue that tip on, so the tip is glued on. Now, when we glue on a tip, I'm going to do a demonstration. You're going to rock the tip on. Don't just plop it on. We start at that tip of the nail and then rock it on, okay? Let me just show y'all real quick on the overhead so that you know what I mean. All right? So when you put the glue, we put the glue on the actual, hold on, move over. On the actual tip, right? We're going to add the glue here. And then we take our tip and we start here and we rock it back like that. That's going to prevent air pockets. It's going to help spread it evenly. Now, when you apply the glue, remember I was telling you don't put it directly onto the nail like this and then try to put it on, because you may not put enough glue on and then it's not glued down on the side, or maybe you're going to end up with an air bubble. When you go to state board, you have to use full well tips, and we'll get to that in a second. You get an air pocket under there, guess what you're going to get when you start blending? A hole, a divot. It's going to be a hole there, and you don't want a hole in there, because then you're not going to pass that part of the state board test, okay? Now, once you glue the tip on, what's the next step? And a lot of nail techs skip this step.
Blend.
You need to blend. You need to etch the tip. Remember that this plastic is shiny and slick. And what's my saying? Anybody know? Slick to slick does not stick, okay? We need to prime the nail, prep it in a way in which and there's nail techs out there, they're like, I never do that. I'm like, well, good for you, boo. Maybe you don't realize the reason why your client's nails are breaking or whatever is because of that one simple thing. But we need to have that, especially with gel. Gel will literally peel away from a tip that is not etched. It will peel away like in one piece. It'll look like a press on. Yes.
Do you etch the inside of the tip before you?
You don't have to, because that glue is gonna because remember that cyanacrylate and tips, the plastic, they all work together, right? Now again, it's sometimes they don't stick. Something has to be etched. You already etched the nail. If you didn't etch the nail, it may not stick, right? But you something has to be rough for that glue to stick to.
Both don't have to.
Yeah, and it really remember, sometimes if you're having problems with your nail tip sticking, your glue could be old. It could be too dried up or something a little bit. It just depends. You gotta have good fresh glue. Yes.
So, you ever seen somebody like they glue ain't really sticking and they don't got the nail glue spray, they use monomer?
I ain't never seen that. They use monomer? Why would you put monomer on someone's on the nail tip where the glue is?
And it make it stick.
What, they put monomer on the nail and then glue it down?
Either that,
or they just wipe it like, you know how you just, like you can just dab it on there and it'll stick.
And you know what? And they're going to be dabbing medication on their hands when they get some contact dermatitis. Because that monomer is just going to be running all over your finger, the tip of your finger, right? I mean, how much are they putting on there?
Some people take the acrylic brush and they dab.
I don't understand why we always try to find an alternative way to do stuff when there's a right way to do it.
I've seen someone do it with acrylic.
Why?
Stick a tick with acrylic.
They make glue dryer spray.
I've seen people apply.
I need that glue dryer spray real quick. So if you are having a problem with your tips, this is a little tip for y'all, okay? And you'll know the first tip you try to glue on. Don't try to finagle with the rest of the 10 fingers if one of them ain't sticking, right? This glue dryer spray, the point of it, okay, we use it for a lot of different things. This glue dryer spray, we use it with dip resin, resin nails, dip nails, whatever, to help that final step when you're drying the nail. What's the point of gluing down the nail and it's not sticking and then spraying this on top of the nail? You're spraying right. So if you have an issue with a client or your glue, maybe you've been working all day and this glue just ain't doing what you needed to do, take glue dryer spray before you glue the tips on and just like one little bitty spray. Y'all be using I done bought 3 of these. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Right?
I ain't gonna lie, when we had them in the can,
it don't take all that. This is instant dryage, okay? Spray it on the client's hands. Put the glue on the tip, because if you put the glue on the nail, it's going to instantly dry. Okay? Put the glue on the tip, boom, stuck. I was on a live one, watching somebody's live one day, and she had the client. She would have the client. She'd be like, "Okay, I'm about to glue the tip on. Now spray this for me." Had the client spraying the spray, and so I commented. I was like, "Maybe try doing it this way." And she inboxed me later, and she was like, "You changed my entire nail game by just that one thing," because that's how it makes. Does it make sense? Okay, so. Glue dryer spray, that's the best way to use if you're having problems with your nail. And change your glue. You might have some old glue. Y'all don't stop buying those bundles of like 100 glues. You're not going to use that, buy 10 glues at a time, the little 10 bundle or something. You might use that up in a month or so. Glue does not last forever. Some people say put it in the refrigerator. You can do that, okay? Refrigerator, it will last longer, okay? But other than that, don't buy big bundles of glue because it does go bad after a while, okay? So we glue on the tip. Now we're going to blend the tip. And when we blend the tip, you're going to blend just the tip. Do not etch the client's natural nail. This is another thing that I see nail techs do. They'll take their e-file, right? And they just go, and they're just filing all on that client's nails. Y'all, it is your job to preserve this client's nail. Your client should be able to take their nails off and their nails still be healthy underneath. They should not have damaged nails. You're the problem, okay? Again, so that is our steps to applying the tips, right? So we etch the nail. Some of y'all are putting dehydrator and stuff on and primer before you glue the tips on. Don't do that. You do not need to dehydrate and prime the plastic tip either, okay? It only goes on the natural nail. So once you've glued it on, etched it, then you dehydrate, then you prime. Now, what does dehydrator do?
Get all the oil out.
Does it get oil off?
Oh wait, no.
Because you should have got the oil off
at the beginning.
very beginning, right? Dehydrator does not nothing evaporates oil. The only thing that gets rid of oil is what? Soap. Okay? Because all you're doing is dabbing it on there. It's not like you're brushing it. Right. If you were dehydrated, like trying to remove the oil, yeah, you could take some alcohol, right? Because alcohol will dehydrate, but you're not brushing it off the nail. You're just applying it to the nail. So where'd the oil go? Did it just evaporate? No, it's still there. So you want to make sure that the oil is removed when you wash the client's hands, right? So dehydrator removes moisture. That will also help if you're having problems with greenies and you're not dehydrating. That might be a problem, right? It's going to help remove the moisture. Then we prime, and we prime very sparingly. I keep seeing a lot of these nail techs just going ham with the primer like it's not an acid. Y'all remember, it's an acid. It will burn your skin. Got to be very careful with it, okay? So then we apply our acrylic. Boom, boom, boom. That's it, right? So everybody understand the procedure because this is your prep. If you are not prepping this way, if you're not doing all of these things, then that's probably why. I know we had a conversation about yours, and once she started doing these things, no issues.
Yeah, for me, it was 5. It was
the dusting and cleansing. Because the dust is just sitting there. It's just, you're just putting acrylic on top of nail skin dust, and it's not going to stick.
Spray it with alcohol and then use the nylon brush, but I wipe it. Like, I'll use alcohol and wipe it with the no lint wipe, and then I'll do that part.
Mm-hmm. So it could be any one of these things you're not doing could be your issue, okay, with prep. All right. So, and one thing could just be the problem. So just try all those things if you're having any issues with your prep. You really could, but you ain't. I'm gonna wait till you get your license. When you get your license, you can come do my nails. I'll come to your shop and get my nails done by you.
Yeah, 'cause I'm doing donations.
Yeah, right now I don't do charities, especially when they go into my own pocket. Here, let me help you pay for school with my money. Yeah. All right. What's the difference between a nail enhancement and a nail extension, ladies?
A nail enhancement just
Fixes.
add strength to your nail and like a An extension makes it longer.
Okay, so we know an extension makes it longer, right?
Enhancement is like, oh,
An enhancement is just working with what you got. So if a client just wants a regular manicure on their natural nails, gel manicure on their natural nails, overlay of acrylic on their natural nails, that's an enhancement. Whether they have short nails, long nails, whatever. Working with what you got, okay? Like, for instance, if you color your natural hair, that's enhancing it. Now, when you put some weave in there or put a wig on, or if you got a bun, like we found out that this is a bun.
why are you telling everybody?
Because I just knew yesterday I used her as an example. I said, see, she has natural hair. See her natural hair? This is an enhance. She just enhances it by putting a little part right there and a little braid on the side. Miss Mary, this is a piece. Oh, shit, I didn't know. See, you can't even tell nowadays, right? So, that's the difference, right? When we extend, and how do we extend nails? With a form, a tip, or now we have another option, Gel X. And when we say Gel X, y'all, we're talking about a brand. A type that is a brand, Gel X, right? There's other brands like this, for instance, D&D. They call theirs a Gel E tip, Gel E tip, whatever. You know, they gonna make something sounds, similar. Okay.
I have a question with the Gel X. I'm so sorry. With the Gel X, do we still use the primer with Gel X nails?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
You can. Now here's the thing. You can use primer with anything. There are do what the manufacturer says to do. When you have Gel X, when you're using Gel X 100% across the board, they have a dehydrator and they also do have a primer, I think. Yeah, they have a primer, and when you buy their whole system. But then there's some systems that don't have a primer. Some some acrylics you don't even have to use primer. It'll say no primer needed. Do what the manufacturer tells you to do. Okay. But me, I'm old school. I'm gonna dehydrate and I'm gonna prime everything. Okay, I dehydrate and prime on a regular nail polish lacquer manicure. You want some nails to last? Use dehydrator and primer. I mean, with regular polish, the regular polish, it will work. Okay, so. But I'm just old school. All right. So there's your nail tips and forms. There's some very, very long forms right there. We'll talk about forms next week. All right. We talked about prep already. So this is just a little bit of review here. Do your washing the hands, pushing back the cuticles, remove the shine with the buffer, cleansing, all that good stuff. All right. Now, let's talk about the different types of nail tips that are out there. What kind of tips are those? I heard half well. I heard full well. Which one is it?
We want, so that can't be full well.
Those are full well tips. Those are the type you have to use at state board. Okay? And those are the ones you said you can't find, right?
No, I'm talking about the ones with the U in it. What's the name of them?
Oh, partial well tips.
Yeah,
so we'll get to that. Those are the ones you see most of the time. Yes, dear.
What's the difference between that and a full color?
We about to go over that right now. Okay? Before we get to that though, let's talk about what they are. All right? Nail tips are pre-molded, pre-shaped, already. This is the reason why I don't really care for tips, is because everybody's nails look the same. Everybody's nails are shaped the same. They all got the same C curve. If you're the type of nail tech using one type of tip all the time, right? All right. But what are they made out of? The name of what they are made out of, the technical name, because you may see this on state board. Acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, aka ABS plastic. Now, abs. Yep, abs. All right. So ABS plastic. Okay. It is, you see in the word acrylonitrile, so it's an acrylate. Remember, it acrylates all. We use acrylates when it comes to nails. Okay. So that's how we're able to use them, because they're all in the same family. So let's talk real quick, because these they're very good at marketing, right? These aren't Gel X tips, these are Gel E tips. But why are they even using the word gel at all? So Gel X, they say, what do they market their tips as?
100% soft.
100% soft gel. Are they lying?
Not technically.
Yes. No, not technically.
Oh, not plastic.
Yeah. So they're not lying, but they're not really being very, very true. They're kind of,
like a white lie.
yeah, it's a little, they are marketing.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Because you seniors know that gel is plastic. Acrylic is plastic. They're all just a hard form of plastic, okay? Most plastics that we use are made out of acrylate. This is acrylates, okay? So when they say our tips are 100% soft gel, they're not lying, because gel is, it's a plastic, and soft gel soaks off with acetone, doesn't it? So all tips are gel then, even these. Even these. This is gel too. I could put 100% soft gel tips. Would I be lying?
No.
Nope. But to the client that says, I don't like acrylic, it damages my nails. Mm-hmm. See, we can giggle about it, but they be like, I don't like acrylic. I like gel. Well, gel is acrylic, and then you really mess them up then. Acrylic is gel.
Classic.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, okay, it's okay. So I'm just gonna charge you extra for this gel because you think it's better for you. It's more healthy for you, right? They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And that's fine. You know why? Because they didn't pay $6,000 to go to school, and you did, and that's why you got the license, and y'all got to stop letting these clients tell you what you know, what they think they know, okay? I got where now I've been doing it so long, I don't argue with them. I just be like, okay, girl, whatever, but, if you like them a little bit, you can educate them on some of this stuff. And that's the main reason why I do TikTok, because these regular folks need to know this stuff so they'll stop getting on my nerves or on y'all nerves, They need to know that, Gel X is just a plastic tip. This is simply a plastic tip that you glue on. It is a press on. That's all it is. And it is plastic. It is not gel. But if you think it's gel, girl, I want you to think it's gel so I can charge you $85 for this plastic tip because you think it's gel and gel is better, right? It's marketing. It's all marketing. May the best marketer win. Hello. All right, so tips. The reason we use them is because they create length and support. We're going to extend the nail, and you can overlay either acrylic or gel or dip powder, whatever you're doing. You can use tips for anything, right? Now, the difference between some of these tips. Some of them have a well, some of them do not. I brought out some tips today. Saturday's class is always a little bit more, a little better than Friday class because I'd be like, you know what? I totally forgot to bring out the tips yesterday. Didn't I? No, I don't like y'all like that. Y'all all right. Okay. So, let me put this over here. So, this is a Gel X tip. And you see the little piece of, or the little well area right there? Mm-hmm. It's just, that's not really a well. It's just where it's already pre-etched so that when you glue this down, it sticks a little better, right? Okay. So this is an example of a full coverage tip. All right. It's just a press on. Now, this actually has a well. Can y'all see that little line, right? The great thing about a well and what the well is for is if you put the glue there, it will kind of let the glue kind of stay in that spot. But it also is known as a position stop. So when you put it on the nail, you know that you can just kind of place that and help you get it on straight. But that's only if the client has perfectly shaped nails. Not everybody has nails that do like this. Some people have nails that do like what they doing the stanky leg, honey. I don't know what they doing. But this is, so when you have clients that have, and you can all put these tips on anybody. It's not really going to matter. It's a preference, really. But here's an example of a well-less tip. So this one does not have a well. They're basically the same tip, right? When it comes to the shape of them, but there's absolutely no well in there in this one on the right. Okay. Now, how you apply these is the same way you apply any other tip. Why you would choose one over the other, completely your choice. Doesn't matter, really, honestly. It's preference, okay? Now, so we have the full well tip, which is what you have to use at state board, all right? State board full well tip. You will either have one in your kit that looks like this with the little U on the back of it, or it will look like this one here in the middle. You see that? It really will depend on whichever type of box I pull out at the moment. Well, the full well ones are in those little flip top boxes that are on y'all's kits right there. Okay, so the different types of tips. Let me put this back on the screen. Full well. Which one is the full well, y'all? The one in the middle. Not to be confused with a full coverage tip. The reason you have to use a full well tip at state board. Anybody know? Because the whole point of them, because a lot of people, and when I first started teaching and had to teach you guys a state board, I was like, this state board is stupid. Why don't they have y'all test on gel? Why don't they test y'all on, blah, 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 blah. And now I understand the reason why the state board is the way it is. They actually need to leave it just the way it is. Okay? Because some folk, if you can polish with regular polish, then you can polish with anything. But if you can only polish with gel, you don't know how to polish with regular polish. Y'all learned that, didn't you? Y'all hated me when it came to that. Y'all like, why do I need to learn how to use lacquer? Well, first of all, because you need to learn how to polish with some speed behind you. You don't have the luxury of taking your time and mess, and you can just wipe it away or just brush off the sides with a cleanup brush with regular polish. You got to move because it dries immediately, right? You don't want to be that nail tech that takes 5 hours to do a full set of nails because you take an hour to polish, right? Because you don't have no speed behind you. So the learning how to use regular polish is fundamental. It's like the ABCs. You got to start from the beginning. If you can use that, then you can use anything. Because remember now when we did dip, what was so important about dip? When you're putting that glue on there, and you've got to make sure the glue is in the right place, don't you? You can't go behind there and clean up the glue off of the skin. If you don't polish that glue on precisely, then the acrylic's not going to stick where it's supposed to, is it? So you start with polishing. You get really good at that with regular polish. Then you move into these other things that require you to be precise with your polishing skills. Okay? So when it comes to the tip, the reason I brought that up, when you go to state board, the reason they want you to use a full well tip is because there's a lot of blending that has to be done, isn't there? You got to blend that entire tip away. It's got to be gone. The well. It's got to be gone. And you don't really have much of a well to blend with first of all, with a well-less tip, there's no well to blend, right? With a partial well tip, which one is the partial well tip up there? The third one, right? That's a partial well tip. There's really not much, you don't have much to work with there to blend, right? So the full well tip is obviously the best option because there's more for you to show what you can do, okay? So a French tip, y'all know what a French tip is, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, those French tips that we used to use ain't going to cut it with y'all. Y'all like y'all's French tips to be like, y'all want them smile lines way up here. French tips we used to have back in the day, they was like, meow. They look like the partial well tips. Little, meow. So they have them, but they're not, that great. All right, so we already talked about applying the nail tip and everything, but how about cutting the tip? How are we gonna cut the tip? the easiest most people have either clippers, nail clippers or scissors, right? So get you a nice pair of straight scissors, okay, to cut across that you only use for cutting tips, because if you use it for cutting glue and all that, they're not gonna cut right. Or you can just use nail clippers. Now, these tip cutters, they work for certain types of tips. If you've got tips that have a really deep C curve in them, 9 times out of 10 you can't even fit it in there. Anybody ever tried to like put a really deep C curve one in these? They don't even really work that good. So cutting the tips is preferential. Okay, I prefer to just use scissors, just cut it, especially when you're trying to cut a stiletto shape or something in. It's really handy to have like a pair of scissors that are really straight. Okay,
And don't you remove a magnet for a pinky and add one for a thumb? Right.
you just bust out with that and they don't even know what you're talking about.
The thing.
You talking about putting the magnets on the thing, on the tip clip, right there. So y'all know what she's talking about. Y'all got the magnets. Y'all use them. Y'all sanitize them.
After we have.
At least she was honest.
I forgot. I didn't know the glue. When I glue it, that one nail or that one.
You glued a magnet to somebody?
No.
Oh.
I put it to
She
the,
glued the one.
Oh,
the
you
first
glued the
magnet,
first
one.
Oh.
so it don't move.
You don't. Your magnets didn't automatically stick to the thing on its own.
It do, but like
They keep it from moving.
yeah, if I have the
Oh.
long nails.
I ain't never had no problem. I get mine is 100% metal though, so it probably just sticks real good because it's metal. But yeah. So what she was saying is, so these 3 fingers, when you got the magnets on there, they're all the same length, same amount of magnets. With the pinky, you want to remove a magnet. With the thumb, add a magnet. Because this nail is short and stubby, if you make it the same length as these 3, it's going to be too short. And then this one's going to be super long. It's just going to it's going to be the same length because it technically is the same exact length. However, these 2 fingers, they're just going to it's an optical illusion in a sense, if that makes sense. Yeah, they're exactly the same length. If I put the same dress on you, and then it might come to your knees. But if I take that same dress and put it on me, it's going to be a hoochie mama dress because I'm taller, right? It's still the same length. It's the same dress. Why does it look shorter on me? Because I'm taller. It looks longer on you because you're shorter. Make sense? So that's what I mean by adding a magnet, take away a magnet. Okay? I have so many new notes I never thought of. Very good. I'm glad you guys are learning something. You're getting it for free. These people paying. Shame on y'all. All right.
Same old.
They getting a license though. You ain't. So go on to nail school. All right. Come on to nail school. All right. We already talked about this. I do not know why. This is in that order. Huh? No. That ain't my alarm. That's somebody's alarm. Whose alarm is going off out there? It ain't me.
I don't even know how my car alarm sign.
I was about to say, I don't. Oh, I do. All right, so let's talk about some different nail shapes out there. What are some of them? Because here's a bunch.
Squoval. Squoval. You want some?
No. Ew. Ew. Duck nails. Ew. Those are her favorite. She said they're her favorite. So we got round, we got almond, we got square. Y'all could say squoval all you want to. That is not a shape, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Almond, ballerina, coffin, lipstick, right? Those are some of the most common shapes, okay? But when we get into sculpting, there's endless shapes. Butterfly wings, arrow, roof nails, the edge nails, the blade nails, all of those different shapes that you probably never seen them before. Now, I talk trash about them Russian manicures, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Russians know what they're doing when it comes to shaping nails. Okay? They know what they're doing. All right? So we got our square, squoval, round, almond. I don't know what happened to my pictures.
That was not like that the first time.
Remember they were scrolls up. I got to put a new picture on there. All right. So Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the most important part of when we're applying, because we apply the tips, we put on the forms, but then when we get ready to lay the acrylic, okay, there are certain things or characteristics of nail shapes that will determine whether you have a well-structured nail or not. Now, this is where people want to argue with me. They be like, oh, well, I like flat nails. I don't really care for the C curve. That's fine. If you like that look, that, you know, and that's what your client is going for, they prefer that look, that's great. But I'll use this as an example. You can build a house, right? And the house, well, if it's on a good foundation and it's got all of the things it's supposed to have, like steel rods and all this stuff, when the wind blows, you know, they build houses different in Florida than they do here, because they have hurricanes. You can't barely blow a house down in Florida. They got all that stucco and stuff on there. They have that because they don't do like we have here in Georgia, like wood on the side or paneling and stuff, because they got all that wind and stuff and the moisture in the air, right? But if you build a house and you put everything in that house to make sure that it stands up straight, it might be around for hundreds of years, right? We've got buildings that have survived hundreds of years. You can also build a house half-ass, and then, 50 years later, it's falling apart. We see those all downtown, right? They all over the place. People, and they living in them too. Okay? So I say this to say, you can make your nails however you want. You may not have problems with them. You may say, oh, I don't want you to put my apex there. I like my apex over here. That's fine. But them nails ain't going to last forever, and they're not supposed to. But, they should last at least 2-3 weeks, right? That's once you put them on. Now, for a well-structured nail, you've got to have certain things. And what are those things? Anybody remember? Before I flip my screen. Apex is one. C-curve is another.
Claudette.
She's so proud of herself. Excuse me.
The thickness, like
A certain thickness, right? Gotta have. Let's go through it. So a well-structured nail enhancement has a few things. Number one, it's gonna have an apex, or what's known as an arch. Apex or arch. I had a student one time, if she didn't say apex to me twice a day when she was here, and this is when I did daily classes, she always, every time she showed me her nails, she was like, is my apex in the right place? I'm like, girl, calm down about this apex, okay? If even your natural nails have an apex, unless you've got flat nails, okay? But the reason why if you've got flat nails, you probably can't grow very long nails. Anybody in here got flat nails? Really kind of really flat, like flat where they flip up when they grow?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're not going to get too much length on that because it's not properly structured. So, you got to have an apex. Where does the apex go? This is the question that I get asked all the time. Where does it go?
the beginning of the second section.
Okay. Or the end of the second, or the beginning of the right? It's just so many different ways of putting it, right? So let's just remember that, because the people want to know. When it comes to the apex, let's draw our little finger here. Right? So
You
we
really
got,
can draw.
huh?
You really can draw.
Girl. Not really. Okay. So when it comes to the apex, so we've got, this is our natural nail right here. Okay, we'll just say this is our natural nail. Where's the apex in the natural nail?
Second to last.
Like where? Point it out. Show me where it is. Show me where it's at.
Right.
What does apex mean?
The highest.
The highest point. So this right here will probably be the highest point of this nail, right? Okay. Right about there. All right. We know it's not way over here. Okay. So when we create a nail, we're going to break it up into 3 sections. It doesn't matter how long or short the nail is. Break it up into 3 sections. All right. In this case, if we were going to extend this client's nail out, she says she wants her nail to come out to here. She wants this length, right? If we break this up into 3 even sections, this is it, the middle, so that here and here. All right, 3 even sections, here and here. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, that's the length she wants. Basically 3 even. I'm really close to it, so I can't really tell. We break this nail up into 3 even sections. Her apex will need to be at the beginning of that middle section, okay? Or the end of the first section. You see what I'm saying? It's whatever you decide to say, okay? But just remember, you got this middle part right here. It's going to start here. So our highest point of the nail, so that it doesn't, the reason we need this apex is so it won't break. If we had an apex way back here, then the nail is probably going to be, it's going to look funny. First of all, y'all seen these bubble nails? They call them bubble nails. I don't know what that's about.
I don't think I have.
All right, so we'll start here at the cuticle area. The cuticle area should be flush. The acrylic should be flush with the cuticle, okay? Meaning that it looks as if it grew right out. If you got a big hump right here, or you got your acrylic starting to wail up here on the skin, that's why you get lifting, okay? So we're gonna start it down here, and we go up, 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 okay? And how far up do we go? Your apex shouldn't be higher than the first knuckle of your client's nail.
You got me looking at my nails now.
It shouldn't be higher than that, okay? What do I mean by that? Take your file, right? See that, this knuckle right here, not the first knuckle, the second knuckle here. Now, some people got big fat ass knuckles now, so be beating up on people, all right? So if I take my file right here and I hold it up again, you see there's a gap in there. I can see you through it, right? There's a gap there. So when you apply your acrylic, that apex shouldn't be having your, like this, right? It doesn't need to be, what I'm trying to say to you is it don't need to be so high that people are like, ooh, I love your apexes. Right? And that's how, when I was saying that student, she just was so obsessed with where the apex is and making sure she had one. And I'm like, baby, you got one. As long as if you got acrylic tucked into that cuticle area and it's sloping up, you've got an apex. The most important thing is that your apex isn't way out here or way back here. It needs to be somewhere in the middle of that nail because of depending on the length of the nail. So once we get to that apex, this is the highest point, then and this is for a square nail or a regular salon shaped nail, it goes straight out. Okay? That is how you're going to have nails that don't break. Now, if for some reason, because this is the reason why your fill-in should be more the same price or even more expensive than a full set. Okay? Why y'all charging less, I don't know. You do more. Can we agree on that? Yes. Do we not do more with a fill-in? Mm-hmm. Once you start doing things the right way, do we not do more with a fill-in? Because I would tell they'd be like, how come it's the same price? I'm like, okay, well, let me nickel and dime you real quick then. How about that? This is what we're going to do. You come in, I did your nails 3 weeks ago. They were $100. Let's just make it $100 even, so it's easy math, girl math, right? Then you come in 3 weeks later, you got 2 broken nails. Broke nails that I got to fix and make them look just like the other ones that have already grown out. So if we break that up, girl math, $100 for a set of nails, that means each nail is what to repair. If you want to do it like that, right? $10 to repair. So that's $20. So now because what do they normally charge? It's like maybe, we'll just say they charge $50 for a full set and $40 for a fill-in, right? So now I'm a nickel and dime your ass. So now that $50, $40 fill-in is now $60 because I got to fix 2 nails. Now I got to fill in the other ones. So that's already included, right? But now you want me to cut down the other ones because they too long. How much is a cut down? Y'all charging $5, $10. I charge $10 for a cut down. So now that fill-in just went from 60 to 70. Okay. So at the end of the day, so my fill-ins were always the same price as a full set. because if I nickel and dimed you, if my fill-ins were $90 and my full sets were $100, if I nickel and dime you, it's gonna cost you more than the full set. So you better take this regular price. Everything's the same. I don't charge by what I do. I charge by the hour. Y'all start considering that.
Can you make my prices for me?
No, because my time is more valuable than yours. Because I've got 30 years of experience on you. You ain't even got 30 years of life on you. So
You have to call me like that on TikTok.
I'm just saying, my time is more valuable than yours.
That's why they trying to join. Let them
No,
join.
we not letting them join. We're not letting.
Okay, I got a question
Habib join.
when we get out live. I don't know who it is.
Okay. So fill-ins, you guys, start thinking about that. How much longer does it take? Does a fill-in take less time for you? Because especially when you got those clients that's been wearing the nails for
And they score
3 months, right? And they're starting to like curve, and then they break too, and then how you gonna fix that? You can't make them look the same. You're gonna have 2 straight brand new nails and the rest of them curving over. You might have to take the whole set off. Soak offs, you guys need to be charging for that. It takes time. If you're gonna sit in front of me, which it shouldn't take y'all long, if y'all doing it properly, a soak off should take 10 minutes.
I don't know now. They come from the nail shop.
We learned in here, it works so much faster.
If you or if you get one of those that have the little holes in it, so that way, and you're filing on one, trying to get a lot of it off while the other one's soaking, and then switching it, constantly switching it and just removing. It shouldn't
much
take.
are soak offs?
Don't just sit there and just let them sit. You paying me? You gonna pay me by the hour, and if you sit there for 20 minutes soaking off, it's gonna cost you $20, $30. We're not doing that. So time is money, and you want to
$30 for
work fast. No, my soak offs were only $10.
Oh.
But it didn't take me but 10 minutes.
But what if they came from the nail shop and they got that real thick acrylic?
Oh, no. We don't. You got to go to them and get that removed. I don't mess around with that. It takes too long. It might take an hour to get it off.
See, that's what I noticed with ours.
Jams up my bits and all of that. It's a mess.
With ours, like, not me, you, but, nail tech, it's quicker to come off than the nail shop.
Oh,
Nail shop
absolutely.
takes forever.
Because it's that monomer is not meant to come off. Remember, that's the EMA is what they use in bulletproof glass. It's not supposed to be.
Talk bad about nail
It's
shop.
not supposed to be put on nails. It's too strong, and it's not supposed to be removed. Okay? So, Apex. 4 weeks later, the Apex, what did it do? It moved, and now you got, so it's going to look something like this. Right? The Apex is over here. Right? Because you've got, all of this needs to be filled in, right? All right. So now my nail has grown out and it's way back up here. She don't want to cut these down. She want to just fill them in. So now what do I got to move my apex, don't I? Yeah. I got to make sure that so now we got to break this up into 3 sections. Right?
That might be a big nail.
No, it ain't. We gotta file this down some. So, and move it. So 1, 2, 3. Here. All right. So now, that's still too close. All right. We'll just say that's the third, and that's the third. So our apex moved all the way over here. That's like, that's about right, right? So now we got to move it back to there. See what I'm saying? So, and the further it gets out, and then you cut, if you cut now, what if she wanted to cut the nail down? Then we got to you see what I'm saying? It's being moved all the time. So fill-ins are not just, and clients love to say it, it's just a little fill-in, girl.
Ugh.
Ain't gonna take you long. It's just a fill-in. All you gotta do is, and then prep on a fill-in is totally different. Totally different. I mean, you got to do a lot more work. You got to get all that crust off the sides. You got to fix the sidewalls because now they're starting to curve down. So yeah, it's a lot of work. All right, so we got our apex. What else do we need to have when it comes to nails? For properly structured nails.
The
It's up there. Y'all can see. Y'all can read it. Sidewalls. Where are the sidewalls, y'all? So the sidewall of the client's nail starts right there. So the sidewall comes straight out like that. Okay? Curved nails are a thing. Yes, they are. Are they a well-structured thing? No. It's like, like again with a house. If your walls are slanted, a good gust of wind come through and it's gonna fall. Okay, so yes, you can do it. Yes, they may last depending on your client, but it's not well structured. So straight sidewalls. Some of these tips curve, and you've got to kind of cut that curve out if you want the nail not to curve, and it can be done. Some of these tips we have up here curve, but you must have sidewalls. If you file, y'all got to start holding y'all's files straight when it comes to shaping. If you are filing your nail and you're this way, what are you doing? You're removing your sidewall. You're going to have your little notch right here. Like this. And you don't notice it because you got all that fat, the skin and the hanging, kind of bulging up because you're pushing that skin down when you're filing, aren't you? Sometimes you're holding it back. This right here is kind of in the way. So you don't even really notice it until the client's nail grows out a week, and then they're like, it's catching on everything. My hair's catching on it. I put my hand in my purse and something caught it and it broke. Right? You gotta be careful. So when you're filing, make sure you're holding that skin back and that you're getting it, you're not creating a problem. Okay? Same thing can happen when you're using forms. If you don't get that form underneath the sidewalls of your natural nail or tucked in perfectly, it's got to fit like a puzzle piece. It's got to fit.
But if they have nubs,
If they've got nubs, it still has to fit like a puzzle piece.
how do you get it up under it? Well,
Y'all like doing boot fingernails?
Then you've got to do. There's techniques for it.
Y'all like doing boot fingernails?
Huh?
You like doing boot fingernails?
We would have to put acrylic on the skin, which is not
Do you
advisable.
like doing boot fingernails?
So there is a way. I'll show you guys. Anybody got really short?
Just say booty nails.
You said booty nails?
Booty fingernails.
Why you call them booty fingernails?
That's what
Bitten
they
nails.
call. When they be real little, like they don't have no nail for real and stuff.
So if you're not good at sculpting, like really good at it, there's some clients that you may not be able to sculpt because you just don't have the experience. You have to, and even Gio, she may have a problem doing like a bitten nail because she maybe doesn't have the skill to properly customize a form. Okay, you have to customize the form. It takes there's ways, and I've shown you ways to do it. Okay, but again, it does take skill, and you've got those little scissors that y'all see people cutting skin with. Those are for cutting forms, baby, not cutting skin. So you got to have really good scissors that that you use for that. Okay, so we got our sidewalls, and what about the nail underside? Underneath the nail should be clean and free of glue and all of. Nail up under there, right? And the reason, and so like when you're doing Gel X, when you press it on and all that gel gets underneath there, that can make it so it's easy to be snatched off too. You usually see acrylic on the underside of a nail when you sculpt it. You ever had that happen where you had a little gap and the acrylic kind of fell down into the gap? That acrylic gets caught on stuff, okay? So that's one of the reasons why you want the underside to be clear. Now, as far as the thickness goes, how thick should a nail be?
Credit card.
A nice, good
Amen
thick credit card.
card.
There you go. There you go.
Metal cards.
A good thick. Don't compare your Navy Federal to it. That's a little too thin. It need to be one of them good cards. You can hold it. Okay. So, thickness, and that's another thing clients like I have a client who, I did her nails, and she's one of the girls that ride motorcycles with me, and she was like, it's not thick enough, they're gonna break. I was like, no, you just too rough on them. You breaking them because you doing, I know what you're doing, you building motorcycles with it, because I know her, like she just rough on her nails basically. And so her nails were, she was like, can you make them thicker next time? I was like, no. No, because that's not how it's supposed to be done. Some people just shouldn't wear nails. Not everybody has the type of lifestyle that allows for them to have nice, pretty nails that they want. Stop, building houses for a living and you can have long, pretty nails. I mean, I never could keep my nails looking nice because was a nail tech. I ain't never in my life been able to have my nails be so pretty since I had stopped doing nails full time. When you're a nail tech, you're gonna mess up your nails just as soon as you start filing on somebody else's. So if you think that your nails are gonna be, because you a nail tech, you about to have the baddest nails in the land, yeah, for one day. Tomorrow when you pick up them nails, that file and start working on somebody else's or acetone, and then you rubbing it, it's just gonna eat your nails up and then it's gonna be messed up. It's just part of
It's part of the.
yeah.
It sure ain't mine, Zook.
If you want to learn how to do nails just so you can do your own, that's the only way. Because other than that, they're gonna get messed up.
I just do mine for a little 1, 2.
So, thickness. And this goes for short nails. Short nails are actually the hardest nails to do. They are the hardest nails to do.
I love them.
Because you're trying to find the balance of how thick or how thin it should be. It doesn't change. They still need to be the thickness of a credit card. They don't need to be extra thick just because they're short. They don't need to be extra thin just because they're short. Okay, they still got to have the same structure. They got to have the apex in the right place and everything. Now that C curve, again, that's preferential, but in order to have a fundamentally sound or structurally sound nail, it needs to have a 50% C curve. What do I mean by 50% C curve? Half of a circle, so a C. Okay? So if it's less than a C, meaning it won't be half of a circle, it might be more flat. It might start to be more like I don't know, less than it won't be a half of a circle. Okay? So a circle like this, half of that would be a complete arch. If you start getting into like a 30%, it might be more like this, more flat. All right? It'll just get flatter and flatter until you're 0%, which is just a flat nail. And y'all, that's a look. Y'all like them flat nails. I don't know why. They're like diving boards. Okay? Now, how long should a nail be?
As long as
So the nail bed. Now again, because you will see, like, for instance, like Gio's nails. Y'all see her nails? They're like what, 3 inches long? Yeah,
These are short to me.
but
Yeah,
the reason why her nails can be that long is because she has all of these things. Sidewalls are straight. C curve is there. She sculpted them for one.
Yeah.
Okay. Stiletto nails must be sculpted, y'all. True stilettos, if you don't want to break, because we all have had that happen. You got stiletto nails, you use tips and the tip broke off. They turned into coffins. Because why is that the case?
Because you need the C.
Tips don't have a C curve in them unless they do now make stiletto tips to have the C curve. It's got to go all the way to the tip. Are yours all the way to the tip?
Yeah. It's like how you showed me.
Mm-hmm. So, and those nails, I promise you, she'll have to, if they break, they're not going to break on the length of it. It's going to be down here where her nail is flatter. It's not going to be, because it can't. It's too strong. That anything that curves like this, complete circle, is not going to break easy. Okay, a flat nail, break in a heartbeat. So true stilettos must be sculpted, y'all. Just saying. So the length of a nail. So when we talk about a natural length, something that if their nails just continuously break, their nails may be too long for their
career,
lifestyle. Loud and wrong.
might not make it.
Your nails may be too long for your lifestyle.
That's still career.
Because if all you did was walk, because I mean, we see these people in the Guinness Book of World Records walking around with their nails like this. They don't do nothing with their hands. They just hold them like this all day long, their whole life. They don't do nothing. their lifestyle allows them to have these long, disgusting nails. Okay? So, if when clients say, well, how long that? I'm like, girl, that's too long. That's too long for you. Your nails, if you keep breaking them, they're too long for you. If you have all of these things incorporated, it might be your fault that they keep breaking because you're missing some of these things. Okay? So keep that in mind. But when people ask me what is the longest my nails should be, I usually go by the client's natural nail. Okay? For instance, clients who have bitten nails, if their nails are bitten, they're always the ones that want extra long nails.
Always.
Because they ain't got none, you know? It's like, you want what you ain't got. Isn't that right? All the people got straight hair want curly hair. All the people got curly hair want straight hair, okay? So if they've got bitten nails and their natural nail grows like that, and we all know somebody who bites their nails
Booty
all the way
fingers.
back, and they booty fingers, you call them? Booty fingers. Why you call them booty fingers? They look like a butt.
That's what they've been calling them since I was in school. Booty fingers.
They look like a butt.
If you ain't got no real.
If your butt look like that, you got a problem.
No, I don't know why they call it that. Right.
Okay, so how long? Because she's gonna want extendos, and I'm gonna tell her no.
Yeah.
So then she's gonna say, "Well, how long can I get them?" And I'm like, "If you don't stop wringing your neck like that, I'm not doing them."
Right.
But that's what they're gonna say. Well, how long can I get them then? Since you won't do extendos, booty nail.
Booty fingers, I'm telling you.
That's exactly what they look like.
Booty fingers.
You look like you've been digging in your butt.
You
You can't dig in your
Look,
butt
it
if they any
takes
longer
out
than that. All right. How long can this client? The longest can she get?
Like to her fingertips.
literally to like right here.
To
A little
the
bit.
tip.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's getting a short.
She don't even need to go past
I
that.
mean,
You need to feel the meat.
I probably would suggest that she go, but if she's like, I want them as long as I can get them. How long as long as she can get them structurally, so that they won't so that she has a less of a chance of breaking them.
A little past.
Yeah, barely over the cream.
Okay, so it's a mathematical equation.
Oh.
Count me out.
We're not gonna say, well, I think it can go here. It's a mathematical equation. If she went way out here, this little bit of nail can't hold on, can't handle all that. Okay.
I might be lying wrong, but she can go probably about a third of the deal.
A third of the nail. So like, if I break this up into 3 sections, she can only have 1/3 of that. So like right there,
It's like the nail and a half.
3 times.
huh?
3 times the length of her nail.
2 times.
2 times. Okay. So we're gonna take the length of her nail, which is right there, and we're gonna go boop, boop. That's as long as she can go. Right there. That's the longest she can go right now. Okay? With what she's got. Any longer than that, and this looks long on this is a big ass finger. In real life, if I were to do, it would probably be a very short nail.
Right.
Okay, let's be honest. This just looks long because first of all, whose nail bed is that long anyway? But you get what I'm saying? 2 times the length of the client's natural nail bed. So if you got a nail biter that bites it down half of their nail, you're going to go to basically the tip of the nail and then add another little bit of whatever they got on the nail. It's really going to be really short if you look at it on your nail right now. Okay? So, any longer than that, they're going to be calling you the next day. You don't want the phone call I hate to get is a phone call from a client whose nails that I did yesterday. I don't want to hear nothing from you for 2 weeks.
You can't even call me.
Don't call, because if I hear from you before 2 weeks, and they not calling to say, hey girl, happy Thanksgiving. They might be sweet like that. They calling to tell you their nail broke, and you got to try to squeeze them in, because I guarantee my nails at least 48 hours. After 48 hours, I don't know what you did, girl. You've been gone too long. You broke that. If they didn't break within 2 days, it's not my fault. You did something to them. So I'll squeeze you in and fix it after 48 hours. Before 48 hours. But when they call you, it's usually because they broke a nail, they chipped a nail, something peeled, something broke, whatever. I don't want to see that on my phone. So try to prevent it. So I might even tell them, let's go a little shorter than that, just until your nail grows a little bit. It ain't gonna take but about a month, or maybe 2 fill-ins. We'll just say 2 fill-ins for your nails to grow. Okay. I would not put Gel X on a client who's got bitten nails. Absolutely not, because that Gel X is going to touch their skin, and they're going to have some type of reaction. Okay. So that's all the parts, y'all. This is all I have for you. Y'all know who did those nails?
You.
Oh,
I mean, why would you put some money?
Those
In
my
your
hand.
stash. Oh, they cute though. They cute.
Yeah. So that's all I have as far as the slides are concerned. So now let me do a demonstration on how you're going to do your state board nail tip with blending.
You want
Okay.
me to take my nail off? It's already coming off.
No.
It's just lifted.
No. Because I don't want you talking about I need to fix your nails.
What you mean? They coming off.
No, ma'am. I'm good.
I don't want to talk about my hair anyway.
I had some tips that were y'all look on your carts over there. They're in a little plastic box. Not like this. That's the ones I want, because those have the full well on them. All right. So, I'm going to do this demonstration. Okay, thank you, baby. All right. So, again, this is how you're going to do it at state board. And I'm going to do it on my own finger. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to take...
Turn the light off.
Oh, you don't have to. Hold on. I don't want that showing. Turn it off. Oops. How do I do that? Turn off. Oh. Remove. There we go. I don't need my face on there. All right. So, let me zoom. And y'all, please don't judge. Ooh, my nails. Ooh. What the hell is that? Dirt. All right, I did this finger yesterday, so I'll just do, I'm going to do my thumb because it's easier for me to hold it straight. So, I want to show y'all, first of all, y'all see I got a booty finger.
No.
So I want to show y'all, because I don't think I ever showed y'all, when we were talking about our nail matrix and our sidewall, like the parts of the nail and the nail bed and all of that stuff, right? I had a nail injury when I was a child. I got my finger. I was playing. I think I told y'all the story. I was playing hide and go seek at my mama used to run a daycare. I'm playing with the other little kids. We playing hide and go seek, and it's a commercial building, right? A big commercial building, because it was a daycare. So those are what we call commercial doors, them big metal doors, like was on our front door, my front door here. So those how the doors were in the building, fire doors they call them. So I'm hiding behind the door, okay, and they didn't find me. Okay. When someone came in and looked in the room, couldn't find me. So then they went to close the door. My hand I was hiding behind the door. So I'm doing like this. My finger was in the crack of the door. They closed the door and I passed out. Okay. Because my finger was hanging. And you can see here, this scar, you see the line? There's a line right there. And if I turn my finger all the way around, you see it stops. And then on this side, you can kind of see where there's an indentation. So it was cut from here all the way to there, and then from here all the way to here. And was hanging by this piece of flesh right there. And so my finger was cut essentially straight across. Okay? Just dangling. All I remember is I was only like 6 or something like that. I passed out. Wake up, and my mom's taking me to the prompt care. My mom was like, "That's not an emergency." The guy at prompt care was like, "Ma'am, she needs her finger sewn back on. What are you talking about? You take her to the emergency room." Right? So you'll notice, because I want you guys, this is why it's so important that we stay away from the matrix. Okay? And who messes with the matrix?
Nobody.
Them damn Russians with them Russian manicures. Okay? The reason, do y'all notice that I have absolutely no attachment here? Like, it's like my nail actually kind of grows outward. Okay? Reason being is because look where my nail was damaged. It went across and it nicked. You can kind of see that my lanula, which is the most visible part of the matrix, is oddly shaped. Like it doesn't even go all the way to the other side.
Like you can see where it was cut.
Where it was cut. It was damaged. It is no longer there. So because, remember, the lanula is the most visible part of the matrix of my nail was damaged. Therefore, this nail grows funny. It grows thick. It's not attached to, there's no sidewall here. Okay? So with that being said, do y'all now understand why you need to stop digging up underneath people's cuticles and playing back there? Because you can damage someone's matrix very easily. With an e-file or a cuticle pusher, pushing too far back there. They do all that. They're pushing it, lifting it like it's the hood of a car. I do not understand why that people, and that has to be painful. Have you ever tried to do it to yourself?
Yeah.
It's painful. I don't know what these people are doing. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up before we started. So what is the first thing that I need to do to my nail? And I'm going to use this instead of a cuticle pusher. It's got a little wooden part.
You need to wash your hands.
I need to wash my hands, right? That was step one. To remove what? The oil and the dirt and whatever I've been eating or whatever's on my hands. The nasties, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to do.
Push your cuticles back.
All right. I'm going to push back my cuticles. And we're just going to do a dry push back here. Nothing major. Now, I want to show y'all, if we zoom in really, really closely here. See how far close. Ooh. Y'all see there's still cuticle on my nail plate. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, when you look at this, and it's crazy. iPhones are so amazing. Okay? When you look at this, and it's been pushed back, yes, it does get a little crusty and white there. It looks a little crusty. Sharia, give me some alcohol and a cotton ball because I'm going to need one. Okay? So, this part right here, everybody always wants to trim all this skin right here, right? Because they see all this white crustiness and everything like that there, and so they want to trim that. But in actuality, the cuticle can be wiped away and brushed away. So if I actually remove that skin, pull this skin back, okay, you see that? That's just dry skin. It needs to be treated. It doesn't need to be cut. But you see that white that's underneath it? Mm-hmm. That's cuticle. The cuticle wants to stick to the PNF. It naturally wants to stick to it. When you push it back, it's being shoved back into it. So you can actually separate, and that's why I wanted to get really, really close here. You can separate the PNF from the cuticle. The problem is when people are cutting it, they're not separating the PNF from the cuticle. So in other words, when you cut, so if you were to say you wanted to cut this, right? Which I don't have my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on. Sorry, y'all, I can't see. Make sure I'm back in there. All right. Thank you. Timu. So you can actually, it's almost like like you're peeling away like a sticker from the backing of a sticker. If that makes sense? Mm-hmm. You can actually separate the two. But it's absolutely no reason to do that. You can wipe this away, or when you push it, plus at the end of the day, it's going, once you remove it off of the nail plate, first time the client takes a shower or soaks in some water, hands in water, it's going to fall off anyway. You've already removed it from the nail plate. There's no need for you to cut that area. If you take nippers or scissors and you now, because that's what they want to do. They want to cut that skin off, go all the way around and cut that skin off. Now you're just making the skin harder and thicker. And every single time you think you're cutting cuticle, you're not. You're cutting skin. And you're just causing the problem every time. All right. So once I've pushed back the cuticle, what's the next thing I need to do? Huh?
Oh.
Well, we could brush it off if you wanted to. You know, I always keep this handy. You know, it's not like a step that you have to do. If you've got all this cuticle on here and you want to brush away, you can see, you can brush away some of the dust, but you can see there's still cuticle on that nail plate, is there not? Mm-hmm. Even though I pushed and I don't want to scrape for days, we can just buff it off, right? So I'm going to take my buffer. Let me turn this way so y'all can see. And I'm just going to lightly buff this area. And this is a what I would call like a fine buffer, probably a medium fine buffer. It's not maybe 100 grit. Okay. But if I were using a file, which I wouldn't, you're pressing really, really hard on it because it has a hard center. It doesn't have the squishiness of this buffer. So this buffer gives you a buffer. It doesn't, no pun intended, like to keep you from pushing too hard. All right. So now I can dust this away, but you'll see that there's still little particles of dust in the corners and in the cuticle area of my nail. So I'm going to take this cotton ball. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got a little assistant up here.
Yeah.
All right, soaked with alcohol or cleanser. And now I can just wipe this away. Now, when I do that, you can see that the nail plate is clean and the alcohol will dry up. And even right now, even better, it looks even better than it did before when it comes to the cuticle area. You just got to clean that stuff away. When you're done, oil up the cuticles. And if you are not selling your clients, retailing your clients cuticle oil that you can make, y'all go on YouTube, go on TikTok, do something and find you a recipe for cuticle oil. And sell it to your clients, and they promise you if you say because I did a male manicure the other day on a man, and he been watching the same things y'all be watching. He was like, "You ain't gonna cut that." I said, "No, I'm not gonna cut that. You gonna take this right here, this cuticle oil right here, and take it home. It ain't nothing but olive oil. I put olive oil in a bottle. Put this olive oil and take olive oil or coconut oil. You can do that too." And do every night before you go to bed, slather your cuticles in it. Come back in 2 weeks, you won't have that no more. It won't be there. Stop cutting the cuticles, okay? Or the skin. Stop cutting that skin. Now that I've etched it, it still has that dry look to it, right? That's all I need to do. We're not trying to shred the nail up. What's the next thing I need to do?
Put your tip on.
I need to size this tip, right? I need to find a tip that fits. All right. How do I know if it fits? Sidewall to sidewall. Okay. So let me get in. There we go. Would we say that this tip fits?
Let me see.
It's hold on. Let me make sure I'm not sliding. All right. Yeah. It's a little big. Let's try. Before we do that, let's see what the next one down looks like. Okay. Don't give yourself too much work. All right, so this is the next size down. All right. If I slide it to the position stop, what y'all think about that? Yeah, I think that's a perfect fit. I mean, remember, I don't really have a sidewall, so that helps a little bit. Okay. I mean, the skin on the side of my neck. I have a sidewall.
I can't believe that
Happened to my toe too. Let me tell y'all what I did to my toe. So I just lost a tooth, and parents lie to you and tell you about the tooth fairy. So my mom used to, whenever our teeth fell out, she put it in her jewelry box. She had a jewelry box on top of her dresser, and we were moving, so my mom was like hanging up pictures, and on top of her jewelry box was a picture frame that she hadn't put together. She was putting a picture in it, but she hadn't quite put it together yet. And I picked up the picture frame because I was being nosy. I wanted to see if my tooth was in there. Mm-hmm. And I picked up the picture frame and did like this, and the glass slid out of it and went right on my toe, sliced my toe wide open.
Oh my God.
And I passed out again. Can y'all believe I turned into an EMT? I couldn't stand the sight of my own blood. Anybody else's I can deal with. But anyway, didn't cut my toenail, just cut the toe. Sliced it all the way. I don't know what's going on.
Still got a toe?
I still got a toe, yeah, girl. I still got my big toe. All right, so that one fits better, right? So now what am I going to do? Well, if I'm the type of client or if I'm having trouble with the glue sticking, what would I do?
Go ahead and spray.
Get you a little glue dry and that's it. You start, this is $10 a can.
That was one time.
I'm going to charge your ass.
That was one time.
Talking about, I was just spraying it. Okay. Now, we're going to open up this glue. Hold on.
Hold it away.
When you go to state board, you will have in your kit, a set of nail clippers, because you're going to clip the tip with the nail clippers too. I'm not putting no scissors or no tip cutters or nothing in there, okay? So when you open the glue, y'all see this glue? It has a little air bubble. You want to act like you a nurse and flick the tip up. Like, try to get that bubble up at the top. It will help. It will keep it from squirting out, okay? Take your clipper and just clip the tip, okay, at an angle. All right? My advice to you, when you go to state board, the night before, check your glue. Make sure you can hear it shaking in there. I had a student whose glue dried up, or she took an old glue because she wanted to go rogue and take her own kit, make her own kit. She took an old glue. The glue top was glued to the top of the glue was glued to the glue, and she couldn't get in it. And that she made a way. She took her clippers and she was trying to cut a hole in the bottom of the glue, trying to get the glue. Make sure that your glue is in good condition. Okay, take a new glue. I'm gonna pack you a new glue. I make these fresh every month. Okay, so that's another thing. Don't buy your kit 6 months before your test. Okay, buy it like a couple of weeks before your test, so that way you get a nice fresh kit. Okay, all right. So how am I going to apply this tip? Or the glue. Am I going to put it directly on the nail?
Nah,
Absolutely not, because we need a lot of glue in this case because we got a full well tip here. Okay. So I'm going to take the glue. By the way, we're live on YouTube, y'all, and Facebook. All right. Take the glue. Y'all see the glue, the glue inside of the well here? You don't want to put too much. So I'm squeezing it in, and then I'm going to rub from side to side here. I'm just kind of rubbing it from side. I want it all over that well, so I don't really have no excuse of getting a bubble. If you get a bubble at state board, there's a way to fix it. Okay. But hopefully we don't get a bubble. All right, so I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to take my tip. See, going to hold it at kind of an angle where the position stop is, and I hope this goes on straight, y'all. I'm going down, 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 okay? Now, look, I did get a bubble. What would I do?
Press it out.
You can't press it out. You're going to take your glue. It will find its way. Squeeze it. See that? It filled it in. All right. I'm not too worried about that little bit at the tip. Okay. So try to make sure that you don't have big bubbles in there. Now, once I have that on, which is pretty straight here. Now, if you wanted to, you could take some glue and go in on the underside. I'm not too concerned about that little kind of sort of little bubble at the tip. All right. Now, when you go to state board, we want this nail to be short and to the point, sweet and to the point. We don't need to be doing anything fancy, no stilettos, no lipstick, none of that, okay? Do you a straight across cut, short and sweet, okay? Boom, square, all right? Now, when we get ready to shape this or blend it, are we going to blend first or shape first?
Shape.
Why?
Because if you blend it, it's gonna be too deep.
If you blend it, y'all see how high this nail is off of my this tip is off of my nail. See how high it is? Like you can take your finger and it catches. We want to eliminate that. We want this nail to look like your nail. Okay, and this, because of the color of this tip, it actually will look like my nail when we're done.
Let me see.
All right? No, ma'am. All right, so I'm just getting, because I got a little bit on my skin. I don't like it on my skin, the glue, so I'm just kind of prying away right here. All right, so I want this, see how this is kind of curving a little bit? We're going to get rid of that, okay? Take my file, hold your file straight from the sidewall. Treat your file like it's a pizza cutter, okay? See how we straighten that out? Sidewall, all right? Same thing over here. This one is curving over some. I don't like that. So I'm going to take my file, hold it straight. See that? Straighten it out. Don't be tempted to hold it like this, because then you'll end up creating a notch. Okay, hold the file straight with the sidewall. And then you can kind of go under it like that, but not like this. Make sense? Treat it like a knife, all right, because it kind of is. All right. Now, the top, the best way to get a straight edge on the top is to hold your file like this. Okay. You can do it like this, but you're kind of seesawing. It's almost natural for you to do that. And sometimes you'll just end up filing and filing till the nail gone. So I'm just going to go straight up and down here. Okay. At State Board, do they care how your nail looks? Not really. But if I go over here and I in my hand and I don't sanitize my hand at State Board, I'm gonna get
What if we sneeze like this in our arm? Sanitation violation.
sanitize, please. All right. So now I've got that little short nail shaped the way I want it shaped. Okay. All right. Straight, square, to the point. All right. Now we're gonna blend. Okay. Now when we're blending, I'm going to draw on my finger right here. Y'all can see the black on the nail and also my fingernail. Okay? Because that's, the point of this is because I want to show you guys, try your best not to file the client's natural nail. All right? So I've marked it there so that I can see what I'm doing. We want to blend this plastic part of this nail down to the glue, okay? Down to the glue. Again, this is for State Board, y'all. So I'm going to take my file, and as long as I hold my file straight, now see if I turn my hand here, if I hold the file, you see there's a gap? It's not touching my natural nail. You see that? Mm-hmm. And we want to keep it that way. Don't bend this file down at an angle, because you're going to end up filing the client's nail extra thin, and we don't want that, okay? So, if you are on my live right now, you don't need to wish that I would lower the camera a little bit. Go to YouTube, add me, and subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment, too. We need to get in that algorithm. All right, you can see this on YouTube. All right, Mary Negron School of Nails. So what we're going to do is we're going to file. See how I'm hold on, let me get back in there. See how I'm scratching the top, just the tip? We're going to file, and we're going to do that from side to side. See how I did not touch the natural nail? We still have a little ledge here. We need to get that down. Keep going. Stay flat. Do not touch the natural nail. Try not to. Okay? Keep doing that until once you do hit the black. Once you hit the black, you know you went far enough. The goal is not to hit the black. Okay, so see how I nicked some of it there? I know I don't need to file there no more. File with intent. Okay? You can change your direction of how you're filing so that you don't hit that spot anymore. Boom. That's it. Don't file there no more. All right, we're there. We hit it. We're there. All right? So now, when I dust this away, when I wipe away here.
Can I feel it?
Hold on, because I feel like I got a little bit right there. I just want to, right there. Okay. So now, you can see that this tip literally looks like it's apart. Look at it from the side.
I can feel it.
Mm-hmm. Take your finger and scratch right there. You can't, it's not stopping, right? So that's what they're going to do at State Board. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come by and they're going to rub it. They're going to touch it. They're going to try to see if you have any areas that are sticking up. And it needs to look like a natural nail. And then you would lay acrylic on top of this in real life. Now, with the partial weld tips that are that don't have or well list tips or whatever, you can see you're not going to really have much room to etch this so much, but you need to etch the entire tip. Now, we're not done with this because at State Board, you need to also, this is going to be your finishing touch. Buff it, okay? And then that nail should look like you like you grew it out of the nail, okay? And that's how you're going to pass the state board tips with blending application, okay? Now, the best way to practice this is on your own hands. It's on your own hands, all right? But you guys are going to do this on your mannequin hands for the duration of the day, okay? I want everybody, I've got files, I've got buffers, I've got all that stuff over here, all right? For those of you that